Hello everyone and welcome back to another tutorial. We are going to start drawing a front view nose. We have to learn how to draw it, then how to color it with Faber Castell Polychromos. Starting with the outlines with burnt ochre, draw two parallel lines. We are going to continue draw a curvy line and then draw the corner of the nose. In order to complete nose drawing, you can visit our other courses focusing on portrait drawing and anatomy drawing. But however, you will learn all of them here in freehand style and also on your downloadable resources, which you can download. You will have all the grids, the references, and also the outlines in order to print and practice on them. Since we are done with the main shape of the nose, you can see how easy it was. We need to make the nose to look more natural. Terracotta, one of my favorite pencils that we have in polychromos sets, shade near the lines. Always near the lines are darkest. I have said this so many times in the previous lessons. I'm going to point it out one more time here. You can see even in this lesson, the first thing we have started doing after drawing the main outlines, we are going to shade near the outlines to make sure we know the shape is correct. Before adding the second layer, correcting all the outlines that needs to be corrected and go around. With circular hand movement. Keep using the same pencil. It's an amazing pencil for the color skin tone that we use, especially for these color skin tones. Now we have almost started the second layer. This part is quite important because the tip of the nose has this kind of circle feeling that you have to create it at the very beginning of nose drawing. Make sure you draw according to what you see on the screen and place them correctly. Either it would be outlines or actually shading. You have to determine the under layers, what we are using and how we should shade, which area you add more pencil pressure and which area you add less pressure. Make sure you don't go onto the highlights. In a second I'm going to show you to you the highlights that I would be very careful in this lesson, so we don't color them and keep the whiteness of the paper. This part and this part we have to make sure they stay intact, so please do as we have shown it to you. So now let's start using burnt umber, darker color, or if you don't have this kind of set, which would be polychroma set, maybe you have another brand, you can use a darker brown for these areas, especially for the nostrils and the sides of the nose. Please do pay attention where we are using darker brown colors and how we are using them. We are not rushing it. I've seen a lot of my students, existing students, they keep adding too much or less color for the nostrils or the outlines next to the nose wings. At this point you should not add any pressure on your pencil or even hand drawing, hand pressure. Still using terracotta. looking and have your paper and color pencil sets ready, so while we are actually drawing you could practice at the same time. It will be a great practice because your memory is fresh, you're seeing the areas we are doing so you can repeat afterwards. It is very important to practice like this. As we have determined the dark parts like shadows of the nose, we are going to start adding more colors. In some places you need to change the hand direction as well, as you can see that we did in few seconds ago. Also, try to give equal or simple coloring at the very beginning and shading, but sometimes we need to change the line direction as how we are doing. Sometimes it goes from like horizontal way, sometimes vertical way. We have started layering more and more and try to blend the previous colors in order not to leave the line traces behind, especially the one that had been created around the tip of the nose. Keep going around with the same terracotta. Slowly going around the highlight. Still, we continue layering more and more. Now you should know this as a fact, as a rule, for a lot of the lessons, not just this course, that while you're layering, you should not add all the layers in one go and actually give a chance so you could build up that layer. It's like create when you're going through a building and building it up, you just don't go and put everything together at once. You have to build the foundation and slowly go through it. Otherwise, it will be shaky, and we don't want our colors to look unnatural. Start layering near the nostrils. Use light yellow ochre here. This will create a natural color tone here. Look the difference between the left side and the right side. We just added a little of this light yellow ochre onto the previous layer and the color looks quite different. We're still going to watch this in real time so you get familiar with the nose. Maybe in the next few lessons we can speed up a little, but when it comes to the very beginners level and it will be your first time you have started, it's better you watch with real tone so you understand the speed, the actual speed we use for different layers. Still using light yellow ochre around the second layer. After using terracotta, they're matching now, so I'm happy with it. After this, we have to again use terracotta one more time on it. So you might ask, why not just use terracotta at the beginning and then light ochre next, and that's it? Of course, that we cannot do that. It's not gonna have the richness of the color we want at the end. Please shade near the lines and make the work look more natural and more visible. Nose wings lines needs to show better. That's why we keep going around them right now. Again, please do not go to the highlights of the tip of the nose. Keep using the same pencil. Usually it is advised to use sharp pencils, but since this is not a realistic drawing and coloring, it is okay not to do it. However, if you use a sharper pencil, most of the graininess of the paper they're gonna go away that still exists on our model. But since this is a certain style we are looking for, even on our future advanced portrait drawing and coloring, we are still going to have this style and going to leave some of the whiteness of the paper and keep it. So it gives a little fantasy feeling slash realistic to our models. Of course, you are going to see them in the future portrait drawings, such as here. Now we can start using dark sepia in order to give darker shadows where it's needed. After that, we can use a little black maybe for the nostrils part. So let's go around and make sure we have enough dark color. So this is a black color, polychromos black, that we are using for the nostrils part here. Previously we used dark sepia, now we use a little black for them, going on both of them right now. Giving a little obvious dark lines on the sides, like here on both sides. Keep layering it. And using dark sepia one more time, so we mix these two colors together. For this part, it's good to start using brown ochre. This is almost, I can say, a third layer, because first we use terracotta for the reddish base, then we use another color, and now we can use brown ochre for it on the previous layers I'm in. We use this color for blending purposes, of course, and of the last two color layers that we have I just mentioned, and try to blend them well with each other. Use circular hand movement the areas that needs more color. We see how much more we need this color, and then it would be a good idea to start using the light yellow ochre one more time, the second color that we use for the second layer. And let's see, because we created the same color pattern, we have to keep using the same colors. Please do pay attention to the pencil pressure that we are having here. Going next to the line to blend the outlines around so they don't stand out too obvious. A little color around it as well, not just the lines, but go around it. Almost happy with this part. Now we are going to use terracotta one more time. After you got this pencil and mix it with other color, I hope that it becomes your favorite color as well, since I use it a lot for this course. Next tip that I could give you actually would be the tip of the nose. So you have to go around like this and make sure the tip of the nose comes out like a sphere, like how you learned in the first lesson, how we created those spheres with different layers and made sure our highlight stays intact. This is the same thing. The only difference is that the highlight is in the middle instead of to be on the corner side. In order to make this happen, we go around the tip of the nose without going onto the highlight and create even more extra shading. keep using the same pencil for most of the areas so it will be consistent. Please follow along and have a look how we are doing it. Even though we are showing it really slowly, you can fast forward if needed. If you think no, it is a good speed and it's a speed that you need to follow along, then please do so. We have used light yellow ochre 2 times. This is the third time we are actually using it. So we are almost done with the nose. A few more layers and we will be done. It was much easier than the previous lesson, I can say. Nose drawing is not really hard to do. It just, since this is a beginner nose drawing and coloring, we just want to take it easy. But we do have other nose drawing formats and coloring with both polychromos and also Caran d'Ache. It's all about right layering, choosing right colors, and correct blending. And of course, pay attention to your speed and pencil pressure. Adding more shadows onto the nostrils after this. We can use walnut brown or sepia for this one. So less black would be better for this part. Even for the side lines, side outlines for the nose wings, let's add a little more because the colors, the lines can fade away after creating few layers, so we just bring them back. You can see we are continuing going around circular hand movement. This part of the nose always the darkest, not just on this example, the below part of the tip of the nose. Because of the shadow, because it goes towards down instead of going up, so this part is always have the most shadows ones, and if you should use the darker layers that we use for entire surface, would go for this part and also on the a little on the sides, but not too much. So we are using either you can use sepia, Van Dyke brown, or any darker brown that you have, and mix it with terracotta. These are the last layers. That's why we are using terracotta that we used at the very beginning. So it goes back to where we actually started and mix it with light yellow ochre. So the formula of the colors it's the same. It just when you realize what colors your reference has, you can keep mixing them, create layers, and um, obviously create a better, more natural color skin tone. Still, we don't go to the highlights. Please pay attention to the hand movement and the pencil pressure. We can stop here or use a little more colors such as beige red maybe afterwards. If you use beige red because it's a light color, it's an amazing color to blend the previous layers. So this is beige red, or you can use any kind of lighter pink, but you don't have to if you don't have those pencils. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial so far. Nose drawing and coloring is very easy. You just have to follow the lessons and the colors and mix the layers well together and blend them. See you in the next tutorials and bye bye now.